In continuing Sugya 196 with 196b, the last thing we said in 196a was that the Gemara seemed to have a little issue with Rabbi Eliezer's opinion. Rabbi Eliezer's opinion on Havdalah is that it's recited in Hoda'ah, in the Bracha of Modim, and it seems to be that the contemporaries, the Gemara would agree that he is right in a case where Yom Tov came out after Shabbat. So when you're saying the Amidah on Motzei Shabbat, but into Yom Tov, then you would say the Havdalah in the blessing of Hoda'ah, in the blessing of Modim. And we had some problems in the previous Gemara that seemed to say, oh, but it doesn't go like the Tanakama. Oh, but it doesn't go like Rabbi Akiva. And then we said, but who cares if it doesn't go like Rabbi Akiva? Because we don't normally go like Rabbi Akiva. So the Gemara is kind of stuck over here, and he needs to come to a conclusion as to whether or not Rabbi Eliezer is right. We need to know, is this statement that the halacha will follow Rabbi Eliezer one that is correct in terms of its accuracy, that it would follow in the case of Modim? Or do we say that not so, that maybe it's like one of the other opinions? So the Gemara begins by saying the following: Amar le, Rabbi Zera answered him, and he answered him, Lav halacha itmar, ela matin itmar. When Rabbi Yochanan said that we follow Rabbi Eliezer in a case where Yom Tov falls out after Shabbat, it wasn't said as halacha. It wasn't said as, oh, this is what you have to do, and we have to publicize this ruling. That's not what it meant. What we meant is, ela matin itmar. Matin means we incline toward that view, right? Meaning we're not going to say it in public that this is what everybody needs to do, but rather we say we're inclined to such a case. And therefore, if someone was to ask us privately, then that's what we should do. So the itmar, as we learned, Rabbi Yitzchak bar Avdimi Amar Mishum Rabbeinu. Rabbi Yitzchak bar Avdimi said in the name of Rabbeinu, halacha ve'amri lah matin. The halacha follows Rabbi Eliezer when Shabbat is followed by Yom Tov. Ve'amri la matin, but some say it's not the halacha, but rather it's matin. We incline. Okay? Rabbi Yochanan Amar. Rabbi Yochanan says modim, that the Chachamim agree with Rabbi Eliezer in this case. Rabbi Chia bar Abba Amar nir'in, and Rabbi Chia bar Abba says they don't agree, but it appears to be correct. Again, we were not quite sure. Meaning, if someone came to ask and says, "Listen, I said the blessing of Havdalah in Modim," we say, okay, you don't have to repeat your Amidah. So there seems to be a leaning towards Rabbi Eliezer in this case, but not a total halacha. There was one opinion that said halacha here, but not a total agreement that that's what it is. Amar Rabbi Zera. Rabbi Zera said, Nakut de Rabbi Chia bar Abba biadach. Take Rabbi Chia bar Abba's version in your hand. Meaning when Rabbi Chia bar Abba said nir'in, it appears to be correct. That's the one that you should hold. Dedayek ugmar shemate mipuma demare. Shapir kerachva de pumpedita. Since Rabbi Chia bar Abba, he is dayek, he is meticulous and studies everything from his teacher's mouth. You can count that whatever he's saying is accurate, and you know that it is probably correct. Kerachva de pumpedita, just like Rachva of Pumpedita. Pumpedita was the name of a city in Bavel, and Rachva was an individual, a rabbi who exemplified this trait. How do we know this? Because there was once a situation that the Amar Rachba Amar Rabbi Yehuda, where Rachba said in the name of Rabbi Yehuda, Har Habayit Setav Kaful Haya, that the Har Habayit, the Temple Mount, was surrounded by double rows of benches. Vehaya Setav Lifnim Misetav, and there was one row of benches within another row of benches. This is really irrelevant, but it just using the word setav, we see that Rachba is using the word setav, which is a very strange word with regards to benches. It should have just said safsalim, which is a more common term. Using the word setav as benches just shows me that Rachba is repeating word for word what he heard from Rabbi Yehuda. And therefore, he had this trait, Rachba, that whatever he would say exactly the way he heard it. And now we're saying that Rav Chia bar Abba has that trait of Rachba, that whatever he heard, it must be 100% correct. And if he heard that it's near in, if he heard that the issue is near in, that it appears to be like Rabbi Eliezer in this situation, then we should take his word for it. The Gemara concludes with the actual final halacha, believe it or not, something that what we do today, and this is how we practice. Amar Rav Yosef. Rav Yosef says, Ana la hayadana vela hayadana. Rav Yosef says, I don't recognize that view or that view. Meaning, I don't hold like Rabbi Eliezer at all. I maintain that he's saying when Yom Tov falls after Shabbat, the halacha doesn't incline like Rabbi Eliezer. It doesn't appear like Rabbi Eliezer. It's certainly not halacha like Rabbi Eliezer, because the bracha of Havdalah is not found in the blessing of Modim according to Rav Yosef. Ela, rather, what does he say? Miderav u'Shmuel yadana detakinulan marganita bebavel. Rather, I recognize what Rav and Shmuel did, who devised a marganita. Marganita is a pearl in Bavel, in Babylonia. This beautiful text that is recited as Havdalah in the Yom Tov blessing. In the Yom Tov blessing. And the text goes as follows. I'll put quotation marks here. Vatiten lanu, vatodienu Hashem Elokeinu et mishpetei tzidkecha. You have made known to us, Hashem our God, your righteous ordinances. Vatelamedenu la'asot chukei retzonecha. And you have taught us to perform the decrees of your will. Vatanchilenu zemane sason vechagei nedava. You have given us an inheritance of seasons of joy and willing celebrations. Vatorishenu kedushat Shabbat uchvod moed vachagigat haregel. And you bequeath us the holiness of Shabbat, the dignity of the appointed times, and the celebration of the festivals. Ben kedushat Shabbat likdushat Yom Tov hivdalta. You have distinguished between the greater holiness of the Shabbat and the lesser holiness of Yom Tov. This word hivdalta here, this is the actual word of Havdalah. Here, this is where we're actually saying Havdalah. Ve'et Yom HaShevi'i misheshet yemei ha'maaseh kidashta. As well, you have made holy the seventh day from the other 6 days of creation. Hivdalta vekidashta et amecha Yisrael bikdushatach. You have distinguished and you have hallowed your people, Bnei Israel, with your own holiness. And that is the paragraph of the Havdalah, and only then you continue with the next paragraph in the Amidah, which is Vatiten Lanu. This, everyone, is what we actually say in our Amidah when Yom Tov falls out after Shabbat. This is the paragraph. And it's not found in the bracha of Modim like Rabbi Eliezer said. It is actually found in the bracha of the Yom, the bracha of the Kedushat HaYom. So after the bracha of Ata Kadosh, when we would say on Yom Tov, we begin Ata Bechartanu Mikol Ha'amim. You can open up your machzor if you want to see it. There in small writings, you will see that when Yom Tov falls out on Motzei Shabbat, you say this paragraph, and this is what we hold today. And that brings us to the end of the Sugya. So Rabbi Eliezer is not correct when it comes to that case. So our Mishnah that gave a three-way machloket between Tana Kama, Rabbi Akiva, and Rabbi Eliezer, the halacha is like the Tana Kama on a regular Shabbat. Whenever Shabbat, a normal Shabbat, where the bracha of Atachon Antanu is not on its own, it's embedded in the bracha of Chonen Adat. That's what we learned prior. And it's and when Yom Tov falls out after Shabbat, this is the halacha. This is what we say in the name of Rav and Shmuel, and that's found in the bracha of Kedushat Hayom, the bracha that ends with Mekadesh Yisrael Behazemanim.